A Christian Testimony. Overcoming Cancer and Finding Hope, even in the face of amputation and death. A story of victory in spite of cancer, amputation and death. An audio testimony presented by https://thebiblerevival.com and https://breadsite.org. Cheryl sat next to me in biology class in the 10th grade. I was a sad, embittered young person in contrast to Cheryl's contented, serene personality. She was tall and lanky, with the look that many models had in the fall of 1968. I noticed at one point that Cheryl had been missing from school for a while. Rumor had it that they had discovered a lump in her knee during the routine school physical. The biopsy had concluded it was malignant. Her leg was amputated just above the knee. I remember the horror I felt at such news. Such a sweet person, what a toll I was sure it would take on her disposition. I couldn't have been more wrong. When Cheryl had healed sufficiently, she was back in school, on crutches, her stump swinging and a smile on her face. Her unruffled demeanor baffled me. What was up with this girl, anyway? Throughout her months of cancer therapy, her determination to stay upbeat was obvious and puzzling. Our sophomore year came to a close. Over the summer, Cheryl was fitted with an artificial limb. But soon another malignancy was discovered. By the fall of 1969, she succumbed to cancer and died. Her funeral was held at her home church, and it was packed with students, myself included. If I was baffled by Cheryl's contentment in the face of such trials, I was totally confused by the apparent rejoicing at Cheryl's death. Yes, there were tears, yes, I heard weeping. But Cheryl's pastor wore the hint of a smile on his face, as he spoke of Cheryl's victory in Jesus. What? Was this man nuts? Were all these people nuts? Where was the victory in such a horrid death, at such a young age, of someone so fine in character? I left Cheryl's funeral service angry and confused. By the spring of 1971, I was more morose and self-pitying than ever before. I still do not know who told me about it, but I heard of a revival meeting being held at Cheryl's church. I decided once and for all I was going to figure out what made these people tick and unravel their beliefs. Little did I know that God had set me up and was ready to ambush my heart for him. The preacher said, "Do you feel as though nothing in your life is working? That there is no meaning? All your hopes and dreams have failed? What kind of preaching is this?" I thought to myself. Has someone told him I would be there? I soon realized I needed to escape that church as soon as the doors opened. As it happened, the pastor and the guest evangelist formed a two-man gauntlet at the doors, so you didn't get out without a personal handshake. The pastor grabbed my hand in both of his, that penetrating smile searching my face. "Thank you for coming tonight. Did you enjoy the service?" Not one to back down at any question, I stared at my feet and mumbled something lame like, "Well, I have a lot of unanswered questions." Looking back these many years later, I laugh to my lack of knowledge regarding evangelicals. I have a lot of unanswered questions. My goodness, that kind of talk is music to an evangelist's ears. "Well, let's just go in the back room and discuss some of these questions," said the spider, aka, guest evangelist, to the fly, aka, me. This was 1971 and I was very anti-Vietnam. One of my toughest questions was, if God is so good, how could something as awful as this war occur? The evangelist turned to James chapter 4, "From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lusts that war in your members? Ye lust, and have not, ye kill, and desire to have, and cannot obtain, ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask, and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts." I was nonplussed. What's this? An answer? From the Bible? Worse still, it made sense. Embarrassed that such an illiterate could match what I felt was my mental prowess, I took a deep breath and began firing questions. To my dismay, they were able to effectively answer most straight from their Bibles. Finally, the evangelist said, "Jan, if there really is a God, and he's as good as we've told you he is, do you honestly believe he could do a worse job of running your life than you have?" Once again I had no comeback. Fearful, I decided to give this God of theirs a try. My prayer was something fairly non-committal. God, if you are who these people say you are, and if you truly can forgive me and give me a new start on life, then I ask you to come into my heart, forgive me, and run my life from now on. Wham! The instant I prayed that prayer, I knew he did exist, he did love me, and he did forgive me. I would like to tell you I have walked faithfully with the Lord since that day. It isn't true. Less than 10 months later, I threw in the towel on God. So many things had gone wrong, I figured God must not really love me. I purposefully set out to break all 10 commandments, and for nearly 3 years I lived in raunchy sin and willful disobedience. By the fall of 1974, I had gone so far down even I was scared, so I joined the Air Force in a weak attempt to straighten myself up. I was due to ship out February 24, 1975. Over the Christmas holidays, some former schoolmates invited me over to a small gathering. It had been over 3 years since I had seen any of these classmates. I went. To my complete disbelief, they had all become Christians in that time. And would you believe, many of them also came to Christ because of Cheryl's life testimony. While I tried to avoid the subject, the last time these girls had seen me it had been me talking to them about Jesus. Naturally they assumed I was doing fine. When they asked, I broke down in tears, and they gently led me back to Jesus in a recommitment of faith. Cheryl's death led me to Jesus, and indirectly through others she touched, she also led me back to Jesus. Because of my faith, my 2 children know Jesus and one is safely home with him now. Thank you for listening to this testimony, we hope it has been helpful. Now, let's briefly introduce a new book, The Surface Theory by R.G. Gibson, that presents 2 new innovative creation theories. Born from personal revelation and years of research, these 2 theories emerged from previously overlooked key words, offering profound new insights into Genesis. This book also unveils new scientific discoveries related to this topic. Prepare for a paradigm shift that makes Genesis logical, dissolving the previous barriers between faith and science. Find the key to these mysteries and many more within the pages of The Surface Theory by R.G. Gibson, available on Amazon.